Twitch buyout, new graphics card standards, and we look at The Crew here on WSGF News.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been good, what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, we've been away for a while. I was on vacation. But now we're back with a lot of news.
Back with episode 21.
Yeah.
Gotta first of all apologize for the fuzzy video. That was a hashtag BlameSimon on that one.
Finally,
you get one. That's my one for the year. And
as always, I'm Chris, also known as Peanut.
I'm Simon, the Destroyer. So we got to get this kind of out and done. Talk about it and get it over with. There's a big controversy with kind of the game industry and the game review news organization. This is
something we haven't weighed in, partly because we've been out and partly because just kind of it's been so back and forth.
Yeah, it's just like we step back, let the news come out and kind of just look at it and then talk about it, I feel like.
So this is the Zoe Quinn and kind of, I don't know if you want to call it scandal, but essentially...
QuinnGate?
Yeah, QuinnGate.
We're doing it. Hashtag QuinnGate. So first of all, Zoe Quinn is an indie developer. She developed this game called Depression Quest.
Yes.
Which is on Steam, apparently. I've never played it. I don't know if it's Eyefinity. We should check that. I'm going to make a DR about it. She was engaging in personal relationships or personal relationships outside of her own relationship with article writers and content creators in game review
in positions that would give her game a boost in ratings and things like
so the big controversy is that was she using that to kind of foster her success? The TotalBiscuit jazz video.
So very recently, TotalBiscuit did on his SoundCloud. Well, he had an article written. It was like 5 or 6 pages. So if you don't, if you need a TLDR version of it, the best thing I can do is he did an audio version. It's like 20 minutes long. It's to like this really slow jazz music. Yeah. And he speaks really soft and really calm. It's great though.
Yeah.
And he offers a really, really moderate, reasonable opinion about the whole thing. Like basically saying that, as a community, the problem, or with America in general, is that we're very polarized. We make every debate an us versus them. It's my way versus your way, and I'm right and you're wrong. And he says that basically like everybody loses out of that situation.
Yeah. So that has no bearing on what I do game-wise. I mean, as you hear the phrase, hate the artist, not the art.
It got really ugly, and I think a lot of people, the lady, the mistakes that she made and the things that she did were wrong, but like hearing about she got death threats, she had to leave her house, all this other stuff. That does not condone an attitude or an atmosphere where a game publisher says, oh, I'm going to take a risk and make a game, or I'm going to come in and be a reviewer because if I make one mistake, some crazy internet anonymous person is going to flip off their lid and send me death threats to my house or who knows what else to my house and endanger my family. There's a huge line that's crossed there.
Yeah, we don't need this sort of thing in the community, and it's just going to hurt us. No. And outsiders can look at it and be like, well, why would I want to get involved in that
I think the damage to her reputation was sufficient enough. People knew what happened. It came to light. They knew things had happened. That should have been sufficient enough punishment for her.
The issue we got to look at is game developers and game reviewers having that sort of...
Yeah, where's the line there?
Yeah, where's the fuzzy... This is almost like if a news reporter from like the Times or New York Post or the Washington Post or something like that went and slept with a politician. It's that same sort of mindset. And so we don't want that conflict of interest.
If anyone wants to hear a very well-written, well-spoken piece, I suggest check out the TotalBiscuit audio
We'll
clip.
link a couple because there's
actually a few.
A few ones that we've heard.
So check out. They'll be in the description below.
And I promise you, I will not sleep with any game people because that's never going to happen. So if you're into game streaming, you've probably heard this news already, but I figured we'd kind of talk about it. Amazon bought Twitch.
Oh man, this is a big one. So
first of all, the rumor was Google was going to buy the Twitch for like $1 billion or something.
Well, this was for almost $1 billion. $970 million.
Man,
jeez.
But the rumor for a while was Google was going to buy, because we knew that they're looking at selling Twitch, and everyone thought it would be Google, which would make sense with the YouTube and all that. YouTube, I sound old, don't I?
The
YouTube, the internet's her. But anyway, Emmett Shear, the CEO of Twitch, actually posted a letter. He actually emailed it if you're a Twitch person.
Yeah,
and
came to your email.
Came to your email. But Twitch was launched 3 years ago, and it's widely successful, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I think it was originally Justin TV, right?
That was Justin TV, and then Justin TV,
and then Twitch was like a little...
came off that, and Justin TV's kind of fallen off the wayside.
Yeah, they cut that off and they ran with Twitch. I really, he talks about, in his letter here, he talks about connecting developers and publishers with their fans. He talks about... we chose Amazon because they believe in our community, they share our values, long-term vision, and they want to help us get there faster. We're keeping most everything the same, our office, our employees, our brand, most importantly, our independence. But with Amazon's support, we'll have the resources to bring you an even better Twitch.
So this sounds like, to me, it's sort of like the Facebook buying Oculus situation. Facebook buys Oculus, but Oculus store, day-to-day thing is just the same. Oculus just has access to a bigger money pool, which is cool. So same thing's happening here. Amazon's bought Twitch, and Twitch just has a bigger money pool to do what they've always wanted to do. It's just they have higher ups now for themselves.
Yeah, and there's two things that are interesting about this. The first is, Twitch has that new policy where they're going to be retiring videos that are like 10 to 15 days old. Unless you have a partnership, then it's like 60 days. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially, the thought process behind that is because there's a bunch of videos that are uploaded that no one's really viewing, and they're taking up mega amounts of server space on Twitch's servers. Now that they're being bought by Amazon, Amazon is well known for their cloud-based storage and data centers. It makes you wonder if that policy eventually will become more flexible, and we'll see a change where you can keep videos longer, or they can be some kind of archival process, because if they're going to go into Amazon servers, maybe there'll be an increase of infrastructure. The second thing, which I think you talked about, was the fact that Amazon Prime.
I'm excited. This is
the
total speculation.
Total speculation here. But wouldn't it be nice if Twitch was somehow integrated into Amazon Prime?
I mean, Amazon already has the streaming with certain videos. Yep. I believe they have an ebook situation too, where if you're Amazon Prime, you get free ebooks for a while. So adding Twitch to this, I think, would be amazing. Amazon seems to see the value in having some sort of streaming digital access. And so just adding that to their services,
And I think also it allows Amazon to stay in competition with Google, because Google has YouTube. And now that Amazon has Twitch, I can see YouTube and Twitch being fierce competitors in the game streaming, let's play whole thing. Twitch is a little bit, more niche in terms of live streaming and things like that. But it's good to see competition in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And,
You like competition.
Yeah, and I really do want to see Twitch grow and get better, and I think Amazon is a very reasonable, very good company to allow them to do that.
So we got a couple things we're going to talk about. They're all related to each other. We're going to talk about adaptive sync first. We're going to go into G-Sync and FreeSync. So adaptive sync, G-Sync, FreeSync, everything but the kitchen sink here on WSGF News, right? So adaptive sync. Adaptive sync is it's actually a standardization of something that had already been there before.
Right, and recently... this is an article from May, so it's a little bit old, but it's basically talking about that VESA has added the adaptive sync as part of the standard for DisplayPort.
VESA it's the Video Electronics Standardization Association.
Yep.
They're like the WC3 for the HTML.
Yep.
They
set the rules.
Set the rules for all visual media on PCs and such like that.
So they're saying that the DisplayPort 1.2a standard is going to include adaptive sync.
Now, what is adaptive sync? Adaptive sync is really just something that enables the frames per second to vary
on the monitor,
like kind of on the fly. Yeah. So if you're playing a game and your frames per second dips below, say 60, if you have a 60 frames per second monitor, it dips below, your output dips below 60 frames per second, your monitor will adjust. Right now, what we have, if you're playing and your frames per second dips, you get what's called tearing, where it doesn't line up because the refresh rates are different.
Right.
What we had before is called V-Sync, and it's a hardware side on the graphics card end, where it forces a lock-in of that frames per second.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't let dips, but then you get what's called
well, you get
the latency lag.
And also, if your computer can't handle 60 frames a second and it dips, you'll see a very, very, very sharp dip in frames.
Now, Adaptive Sync helps fix that. So it's a protocol that's actually been around for a while, but they finally standardized it. Now let's talk about G-Sync.
NVIDIA's
And this is the
product.
NVIDIA solution for kind of the latency lag and the next step up from V-Sync.
And there are already G-Sync monitors available.
Now, the Asus ROG, the Republic of Games, has one.
This is basically a proprietary technology, something built into the monitors that allows an NVIDIA-based graphics card to communicate with the monitor and then variably adjust the monitor's refresh rate to be in sync with the graphics card, whatever the graphics card is.
It's sort of the same idea as what Adaptive Sync sort of does, the protocol allows.
But it's not using Adaptive Sync, right? It's using NVIDIA's own proprietary technology.
And it's like a chip in the monitor.
Right.
Actually, there's also, I think, modules that do it too as well.
To third party. Right. Right.
But it's really just a chip inside the monitor. So, and it's going to probably raise prices. We'll talk about that in a second. But so you're going to have G-Sync monitors or powered by
G-Sync adapter.
Or G-Sync adapter.
Right.
Now, there's also the AMD side. It's called FreeSync. It was called Project FreeSync, and now it's just FreeSync. What FreeSync does is using the Adaptive Sync protocol allows for that variance and allows the AMD card to adjust that on the fly.
Right. Now it's really interesting. There's an article. The article we're going off of Anatech is very interesting because the Adaptive Sync protocol being adopted as the standard means that both NVIDIA and AMD will eventually have to support this protocol. Now, does that mean that you can use FreeSync on NVIDIA-based cards? We don't know. Maybe not. But definitely the DisplayPort will have to be capable of supporting that protocol for both cards. If NVIDIA wants to keep making cards with DisplayPort, they're going to have to comply with this new standard. Another good analogy would be physics or physics. Basically, if you want to use that feature, you have to have an NVIDIA-based card that supports it. If you don't, if you have an older NVIDIA card or you have an AMD card, you don't get those features. That being said, you still have physics in games. It's not like you don't get awesome physics in video games. Physics is all around. Regular game physics are in all games. But if you want these special enhanced physics that only NVIDIA can provide, then you have to have their cards. So we may see a similar situation in this regard where everyone will be able to get this standardization and this variable sync between their monitor and their cards, but G-Sync will be a specific proprietary special case for NVIDIA users if they have a G-Sync capable monitor.
But I think in the end, what's really, really good is we're stepping away from the kind of the graphics card doing all of the work.
Yeah,
the graphics card having to adjust on the fly and having to send everything out. It's now it's kind of moving the workload a little bit to the monitor, allowing it to fluctuate. But we're not going to have that kind of tearing issue we're used to have.
Yeah.
And we're not going to have to deal with V-Sync anymore. I don't know about you, but I really don't use V-Sync.
No, actually, I don't use V-Sync that much at all, simply because of the tearing. I mean, not the tearing, but the input lag. I'd rather deal with the tearing than... Because
the tearing, at least you'll get like maybe like a majority of the information if it doesn't line up.
Yeah, and I have a really hard time noticing it. I don't know if I'm just not very observant.
If you want to see that, I mean, go back to those 4K monitor videos that we did, and I'm sitting there calling out when I'm not playing the game, like there's tearing, and you're like,
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm just so in the zone, like trying to shoot
It's almost like bezels. Your mind just zones it out.
Zones it out.
My mind zones out all the bezels when I'm playing a game,
happens.
and zones out tearing, because I'm getting tearing on games too. I know that, but I'm just glad that the industry is working for that next step.
Okay, so a new game on the radar we were going to talk about a little bit is The Crew, which is a game made by Ubisoft.
We're kind of
burned by them. Track record on this show is not very good, but that's okay.
Hard anyway.
It is a street racing game. which I haven't played a good street racing game since
There's
like
a
the
Need
old
for Speed
Need
one.
for Speed.
Yeah,
those are the last ones I've
or
played.
Midnight Club. Midnight Club was another one. That's a while ago.
But the interesting thing, well, there's a couple things about this, about the actual game, the crew.
First of all, it's still in beta.
Yep.
And it's in an open
it's not
beta.
out yet. Open beta, well, kind of out, not fully out.
Well, an early release.
Locked at 30 frames.
Yeah, it's locked at 30 frames at this moment.
Which I don't think we expect very much from Ubisoft in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, really, I think there was a Need for Speed game that was locked at 30 frames.
Because they're all, I mean, are they console ports, I guess? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, they're aiming for the console kind of idea, but...
So it's iFinity out of the box.
Yeah, so iFinity Surround works out of the box, even with bezel compensation.
Bezel compensation works. Cool. That's awesome. Now,
here's how we know this.
Yeah. The really, really, really cool thing, and we'll put this up, a link for it, and do an overlay here of the video, is Howdy did an awesome video of him playing it with his racing wheel.
Yeah, the camera right behind him.
And the camera behind him going on his triple screen rig. I mean, it's awesome.
It looks really nice.
I would highly suggest anyone who's a big car racing fan to go check out Haldy's video.
It's really cool. Really cool. Thanks Haldy for posting it up. I've been shooting him some messages like, okay, tell me about the game, tell me how it performs. He's saying it's locked in at 30 frames per second. At certain speeds, it kind of dips on frames per second. But once again, it's in beta.
He gets a wag of finger at me for not doing a DR post, though. Because I mean, a Battlestation post.
That's a nice rig.
His rig is super nice.
He's probably done an older one.
He probably has.
Yeah, Haldy's probably done an older.
But he should do a revised one. I mean, he's got one of the better looking rigs on the site.
Speaking of videos, Skid's done a couple of experience videos. You know, these videos.
Yep.
If you're triple wide, you can do it full screen. It looks like you're actually playing the game.
We've missed a lot of WSGF news from the site, so we need to kind of catch up a little bit.
Yeah. So those videos. One of the videos is
the crew.
The crew. It's a crew experience video.
Yep.
So we can see Haldy playing from behind him, the camera, kind of the setup with the setup.
And
they can see a full screen, see how it look on your monitor yourself with someone else playing, of course.
And then he's also got ArchAge, triple monitor, iFinity, and surround, which...
It's another experience,
Another experience video. So if you want to check out the experience videos...
So if remember, those experience videos are really good. Like, I wonder how it'll look like on my screen before you buy it. You know?
And even if you don't have triple monitors and you want to just see how the game looks on triple monitors, you could watch it and kind of get an idea of this is what to expect. You won't get the full immersion because you won't have 3 monitors.
But you kind of see just the field of view that you
can see what the field of view you can get.
And any sort of issues that may happen with the game.
Yes.
Now, moving on to, I guess, kind of monitor talk again, Skip posted a video on the new LG monitors.
LG curved 34-inch, 3440 by 10 by 1440, 21 by 9 panel. This is by LG, which is really interesting. A curved monitor, ultra wide aspect, 21 by 9. It looks really nice.
I know they've been doing a lot. Well, not necessarily LG, but display companies in general have been kind of pushing some of these televisions that are kind of
ultra wide
curved sort of screen. So now we're moving that on to the kind of desktop situation. It'd be nice to mess around with one of those, but I feel like 21 by 9, and we've talked about this before. 21 by 9 monitors are kind of the sweet spot right now. 4K is nice, but having that extra width, I think, works.
So this is episode 21.
21.
We took a little hiatus break, but we have caught back up now. And again, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Computer Lasco.
I am at The Destroyer FTW. The main Twitter for the entire WSGF is at WSGF. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this video. Check out our Facebook page, our Google Plus page. Check out our Steam page if we're ever going to do some sort of thing like Social Saturdays. So check out your Mumble. We'll have all that sort of thing linked below, like we always do.
Link below as always. So yeah, we'll probably be back in our normal weekly swing of things here. And again, thanks for watching, guys.